Hey everybody, it's Mike. It's Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021, and it's raining here in Raleigh, North Carolina, so a perfect time to sit down and do a video. I want to talk a little bit about two documentaries that I uploaded a while ago. The Lost History of Earth, which is 5 hours, and What on Earth Happened, 8 hours. The feedback from both of those documentaries has been absolutely fabulous. People really enjoyed them. But I want to make the point that they are not my documentaries. I did not create them. I am not the content provider. The person or the individual that created both those documentaries had a YouTube channel that was titled Ewaranon, Ewaranon. And that channel does not exist anymore. And so what I'd like to do is to give a little backstory as to why I went about uploading both those documentaries. So I watched the first documentary. It was uploaded by another channel that I subscribe to called Norb's World, Norbzworld, and I'll put the link to the Norb's World channel in the description box below. So I watched a 5-hour presentation. I thought it was fabulous, and I thought, okay, I'm going to upload this to my channel. I just need to see if I can find some contact information for whoever put this together. And so, I found out that it was this person or this channel that was going by Ewaranon, but that channel didn't exist anymore. And so I was having a lot of difficulty finding any contact information, specifically an email, so I can write to them and say, hey, are you okay if I upload your two documentaries to my channel? And then somebody left a comment and said, well, he's got a new channel now, and it's just called Ewar, E-W-A-R, and I'll put the links down below. So I went to his new channel, and both these documentaries are not there. He has content up that's in the same vein as these documentaries, but it's not them. And he also has a video that he put up explaining what happened to his original channel, Ewaranon, which is, again, doesn't exist anymore. So even with his new channel, when I go into about the channel, there's no information. It's blank. There's no email. I also checked on Twitter, and I did not find a Twitter channel for Ewaranon or Ewar. So I had no way of contacting this person. So what I decided to do was to upload the videos, to mirror them in good faith. Like I said, I did try to find this person, to reach out to them and ask them, but I had no way of doing that. Now, the first video I found intact, the 5 hours on Norb's World, like I think I just mentioned before. The second one, the 8-hour video, I could not find intact. So I had to go on a little hunting expedition. And what I did was I found the various parts or segments, like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, the individual parts. And I downloaded them and I stitched them all together to create the 8-hour documentary. And these videos were spread out. And most of them I was able to find on BitChute. And the way I found them, it was hashtag Ewaranon. So I just started looking and taking a look at part 1, part 2, part 3, part 15, and then putting them together. Okay? So that's how those videos came to be. I still have no contact information for Ewar. If anybody knows how to contact him, please leave a comment down below so that I can reach out and formalize the uploading of the documentaries. The reason why I did it, like I said, the information is very, very good, and I felt that the content needed to be preserved. So in any case, I wanted to give you some background. They are not my videos, so credit needs to go to Ewaranon or Ewar. Go to his new site and subscribe. Between myself and Norb's World, I think we got his channel from about, I think he had under 1,000 subscribers, because his new channel, I think, was created in June of this year, and he's up over 9,000 now. So, give the guy the support that he deserves. Also, with regard to these videos, some people are really, I mean, I can't understand it sometimes. They get stuck on one little thing over the span of 5 hours or 8 hours, and they want to go into the comment section and they want to whine and bitch about this. I don't agree with that, and so on. Look, nobody cares, okay? The only person that cares is you. If you have a 5-hour documentary or an 8-hour documentary and there's something there that doesn't resonate with you, just leave it on the table. Take what resonates, and what doesn't, just leave it there. It makes no sense. It's just wasted time to go into the comments section and type out a dissertation thinking that people are going to sit there and go through 5 paragraphs of your bitching and moaning. The people on this channel, I like to think, are way beyond that. Think bigger picture. Okay? Just think bigger picture. And that also goes for those that are watching the video and they immediately, want to shut it down because the videos talk about geocentrism, flat Earth, versus heliocentrism. And, and the globe supporters, they just want to go off. They just want to rifle off comments and all that stuff. Anybody that's doing that, you need to get your composure. And by the way, the flat earthers do the same thing on globe sites. All of this going back and forth stuff, and just throwing rocks at each other. It's unproductive. This is why humanity has the issues it has. It cannot coalesce because people cannot get their heads out of the weeds. And people have asked me, Mike, are you a flat earther? Yes, I am. I'm a geocentrist. I don't like the term flat earth. It's a term that has been used to as a conspiracy theorist, tinfoil hat wearer term, just like chemtrails has been used instead of geoengineering. So what we need to do is to use terms that are legitimate terms and not the terms that are put out there to try to demean or vilify people that have a different perspective or a different viewpoint on something. So that's why whenever I talk about flat Earth, I try the best I can to use the term geocentrism. And if I'm talking about chemtrails, I want to use the term geoengineering. But like I said, sometimes the commenting is really unproductive. It really is. If you don't agree with something, just I don't know, just move past it. It's okay to leave a comment and say, well, I don't know about this, but I'm talking in terms of the people that leave 9 pages or try to of commenting, thinking that anybody other than themselves is going to read that. Think about how much time it took you to sit there and write all of that out, and nobody's going to read it. And if it's really stupid, I'm not even going to post it. I'm just going to delete it. Or if I see that you're being a jerk and you're trolling, even if it's passive aggressive trolling, you're going to get blocked. It's as simple as that. I conduct my channel in an adult way. Mature people come here. Critical thinkers come here. And as soon as you come here and I detect just 1 ounce of somebody who's not there yet, they're not an adult, and they don't conduct themselves in that manner, you're out of here. Okay? It doesn't matter to me how many subscribers I have. What I want is to have the right amount of people, the right number of people that are critical thinkers and free thinkers that are seeing the big picture. Now, the other thing is, while I'm talking about heliocentrism, is that I am thinking about doing a video that talks about the heliocentric model and how it is a depiction of the Luciferian philosophy of conscious evolution and soul development. And it's called Soulificati. 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 And how do I know this? Well, as I was doing all of my work, taking a look into the deep state and into the whole Beatles conspiracy, everything that I look into, right? Obviously, the Luciferian philosophy and mindset is front and center. So you have to understand how these people think and why they think the way they think. And what is their philosophy, right? So there are two books I want to share with you, and both are written by Lucien Black, and you can find these on Amazon. So the first one is called To Know, Dare, Will, and Keep Silent. Level 1 official document, the Luciferian Order. Okay? It's a very good read. There's nothing dark or evil about it. It just explains the philosophy. It's a very, very short book. So it's not a big read. You can get the basic understanding of the Luciferian philosophy with this book. Okay? Second one is called the Sola Fecati. Right? And take a look at the bottom. It says solar system. Look how they spell solar system. S-O-U-L. And conscious evolution. All right. So the concept is, real quick, and I do think I will do a presentation on this. It'll probably be about 30 minutes or so. But when a soul is first created, it starts in Pluto. Pluto represents a soul that is unconscious. It has no sense of knowing. It hasn't developed yet. But it has an innate understanding that it needs to travel to the light, to the sun. And in order to unite with the sun, it has to make its passage through various portals. And those portals are the, quote, planets. So each planet represents soul development. There's learning in each one of those portals. And the soul must master the learning within those particular portals or planets before it can move on. So when I read this book, it became very clear to me that the heliocentric model, the solar system as it's presented to us, is a representation, it's a depiction of the Luciferian philosophy on conscious evolution or soul development. Okay, so something else to think about, because, you know, they lie about everything. One of the things that really gets me sometimes with the truth movement is that there are truthers out there that don't understand that everything is a lie. Anything worth knowing is a lie. This is something that I said back in a show with Ole Dammegard going back a number of years ago. Anything worth knowing is a lie. So there's no cherry picking. You can't sit there and say, oh, well, this big thing is not a lie, but that big thing is. Any big thing is a lie, especially when it comes to controlling you. So your understanding of the cosmos, right? That's important. So they're going to lie to you. Religion is another control mechanism. They're going to lie to you. Science, politics, the media, your education system, medicine, and so on. It's all a lie. They just didn't lie about some things. They lied about everything. And that's why we have to have an open mind. That's why we have to understand that we have to come at this with a blank sheet of paper. If you start saying, well, you know, I believe this is true and this is not, and you hug the thing that you think is true. In other words, you know, you're just not going to let it go. You're just going to grab onto it, and come hell or high water, you're going to stick to it, when in all likelihood what you're holding on to has deception embedded in it. Now, all good lies and all good deception do have a thread of truth. That's how you keep a good lie together, right? So, again, we need to come at this with an open mind, clean sheet it, wipe the board clean, the slate clean, and start from there. That's what I try to do. And I'm not perfect. I mean, you know, there's got to be things that, you know, I believe that are true that aren't. I mean, the whole process is a process of learning. It's a process of discovery. You know, nobody has the answer. Anybody walking around saying, I have this all figured out, you know, no, you don't. You really don't. There's just so much to learn. When I got into the whole Beatles conspiracy, initially I thought that this was not going to be a big deal. And the more I dug into it, the more I learned. The more I learned about the occult, the more I learned about Aleister Crowley, the more I learned about Luciferianism, the more I learned about the deep state. It just was an endless, endless rabbit hole. So that's why, when people ask me about why do I still continue to plug away with the Beatles and the McCartney conspiracy, it's because it is a monumental deception. It's a massive psychological operation that captures so many aspects of the tricks of the trade that the controllers use. So that's why it's important. There are times when I thought, okay, I've done enough and I'm going to step away and move on to something else, and then boom, something else pops up pertaining to that particular conspiracy. And trust me, I don't want to talk about it all the time. In fact, I just got a request from a radio show, a podcast, and they wanted me to come on, and they wanted to talk to me, and I thought to myself, God, I hope they don't want me to talk about the Beatles. Because I am Beatled out, and as it winds up, no, they wanted to talk about current events and what's going on today in the world. One other thing before I wrap up here. There are some folks in there, a very small piece of the truther community, that have sour grapes. They want to understand how is it that Mike's channel has been able to stay up while their channel got shot and got taken down. I don't know what's implied there, that I'm controlled opposition or I'm not the real deal. Well, I am the real deal, right? Mike just does his thing. The reason why my channel has been able to stay up, and don't get me wrong, a couple of years ago I had 2 strikes on the channel. And I was 1 strike away from the channel going away. This was about, I guess, 3 years ago or so. And in fact, right now I'm sitting with a community guideline strike for a video that went back to 2015 or 2016. So the video was like 5 or 6 years old, and YouTube went on a little fishing expedition, and they gave me a community guideline strike for a video that had been sitting on YouTube, unscathed, visible to everybody, for 5 or 6 years. They have pulled all of my videos that have to do with the tribe out in the Middle East. Okay, those videos now are up on my other platforms. So I've had my share of issues and problems dealing with YouTube. But the thing that I did, that a lot of these other folks that are bitching and moaning and trying to scratch their head and figure out why it is Mike's still here and they're not, is, I figured out how to navigate this maze. So if you're going to put content out that is going to be a problem, and is going to be taken down or censored, or you're going to receive strikes and will eventually blow your channel up, but you continue to do that, like you want to just bulldoze your way through it as if you're making some point, that's not prudent. That's, in my opinion, that's not smart. Because if you had a channel of 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 followers, subscribers on YouTube, and you're there one day and then you're gone the next, and nobody knows where you went, that doesn't do any good. And I can tell you that the mentality of most people, if a channel goes down, they do not go looking for you. What most people do is they just go find another channel. It's as if you never existed. It's like a TV show that you used to watch, and then the TV show is no longer in existence, right? No, we're not going to re-up this program, so that's it. Just 5 seasons. There is no 6th season. So you're like, oh, that's too bad. And so what do? Well, you go find other shows to watch. And that's exactly what happens on YouTube. So what I did early on was to develop the other platforms. And slowly and methodically, I was pointing people to these other platforms. I would talk about it. I would put the links down in the description box. Or I would say this content is available here, not here, but over there. And the reason why I did that was because I was able to then get people acclimated to migrating over to these other platforms instead of just being reliant on YouTube. Now, the problem is that YouTube is still a behemoth, and it represents the largest reach that you can get with a video until these other platforms get to a point where they have similar reach, if they ever do. So what I do is I pick and choose what stays on YouTube because I know that this particular show or this particular presentation is going to be okay. They're going to leave me alone. And other shows, which they consider to be controversial or violate their terms of service or violate their community guidelines. I mean, it's all nonsense, right? We know this, okay? It's all made up shit so that they can suppress anybody trying to get any type of truth out there. But what you want to do is, you want to do it smartly. You want to be able to still leverage the platform of YouTube and move people over or point them to that platform over there and say, hey, go here, go there, okay? That's where this show is going to be. That's where you're going to be able to see it uncensored without the risk of having the show taken down or a strike or any of that stuff, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that channels that have longevity, like mine, I believe it's because we managed it properly. And for other channels, a lot of them got blown out of the water because they went about it the wrong way. Now, I also want to say that there were channels that just got blown out of the water with very little notice. And this was going back maybe a few years ago when YouTube was on this big purge, But for the most part, from what I've been able to see, it's because these channels don't exist here anymore, or these truther channels that have disappeared because many of these folks didn't take a step back and assess, okay, so what's the best way to navigate these waters? Do I just plow ahead, put a helmet on and try to run through the wall? Or do I have a more diplomatic way of doing this so that I have the best of both worlds? I'm still here where the reach is tremendous, and I can also point people over to other platforms that have my content that can't be shown on YouTube, but it's okay to be on these other venues. Okay, that's it for today. It's an early morning video. It's not even 8:30 a.m. here on the East Coast. So the comment section is open. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye now.